Hello there, I'm Mason Raymond. Jobs. So most people have them, some people want them. But according to Jim Hayter, an expert on workplace management, published an article on April 2nd, 2015, stated that most people aren't engaged in their jobs. At least 2/3 of them at that. What does that say to you? Does that say they're only doing it for the money? Or does it just mean they want quick cash? Most employers look for good characteristics for that specific job, which this tells them if that person is capable of doing the job right. There are many good characteristics that employers look for. First, I will talk about what the employer looks for characteristics. Second, I'll talk about how to be a good employee. And third, I'll talk about how managers do their job. When you go into an interview, do you walk up to your employer and say, "I'm just looking for a job. I'd like money"? No, you don't. That's not what you do. If you do that, then they're not going to hire you. When I went into my interview, I said what I would like to do, I am willing to learn, and I said it with confidence. Where am I now? Well, still have a job, right? That's a good thing. But if you go to your employer and say that you are ready to learn anything, let's say here's an example. Let's say your boss or your new boss asks you in your interview, "Hey, I know you wanted to do this specific thing, but let's say, how about if I, for one day, had you do this? Would you be willing to do it?" If you say no, they might not put you on many days of work. But if you say yes, you get more days of work, which means more money, which means a lot more fun, right? A lot more spending cash on things on the mall, or, "Hey, look, that new tablet I want." Now I've talked about what the employer characteristics you want, I will next talk about how to be a good employee. Congratulations, you got your first job. Now, it's your first day on the job. What do? Well, let's say your boss tells you to face an aisle in a grocery store, which that's where you're working. And you say, "Nah, I don't really feel like it." Does that say anything good? No, that does not say anything good. But let's rewind, and let's say you said, "Yes, I would like to do that." Your willingness to learn again, your willingness to be there, you're engaged in what you're doing, you're engaged in your job. That's good, that's fantastic. That's what employers are looking for. They want you to be engaged in your work. They don't want you being there just to be there. Now that I talked about how to be a good employee, let's move on to how managers do good at their job. Now, I may sound selfish, but when I started working at where I work, it was 4 months until my boss said, "Hey, you there, Mason Rimmel, would you like to become a manager?" What do you think my response was? "Yes, I would love to become a manager. That sounds awesome. Also, it sounds like more money. Please give it to me now." Anyway, so that means I had to have more responsibilities, responsibilities like leadership, communication, managing the store, making sure everything gets done. It's as simple as that. If you ever get into that position where you're a manager, you have to remember this. If you don't feel like you're up for the task of managing an entire store, it's going to be tough. But if you feel like you can get into it, then absolutely, go for it. How I, as a manager, keep my coworkers engaged in their work is 1, look at their strengths and weaknesses. Let's say Bob, he doesn't really like being cold, and but he loves being at the register. Don't put him in the freezer section facing all that frozen food, especially when the bag keeps falling over 5 times. And let's say Jill. She loves working in the coldness, but she doesn't really work well with customers. So you would put Jill facing frozen, maybe even organizing, facing the aisle, checking dates, seeing if anything's expired. How you be a good manager is that you can How to be a good manager is that you see weaknesses and strengths of coworkers. That way, you choose the correct coworker for the right job, and you get everything done during that night. Which, according to Emma Spalala, co-director of Yale College of Emotional Intelligence Project, published an article on December 1st, 2015, stated that a positive workplace is a happy workplace, and things get done. And also, according to the American Management Association, who published an article in 2019, which they stated that for being a good manager, leadership, communication, that leadership and communication are the top two things you need to be a good manager. Now, today I talked to you about what your employees are looking for in your characteristics, how to be a good employee, and how do managers do their job. There are many good characteristics that employees look for. Now, hopefully, this helps you actually decide what you want to do as a job. Because if you're just doing it for the money, are you really going to have a good time?